you think that NATO countries should shoot down Russian aircraft if they enter their airspace?
Yes, I do.
The skies of Europe could turn into a battlefield at any moment. With a single short sentence, Donald Trump gave the green light. NATO may shoot down Russian aircraft that violate their airspace. This was not mere political rhetoric, but a direct threat that shook Moscow and stunned the world. On September 23, 2025, during a press conference in New York alongside the UN General Assembly, Trump was asked if NATO should shoot down Russian planes entering their airspace. His answer was clear: "Yes, I do," reported by ABC News. This brief sentence marked a turning point. The red line that had long been preserved is now under question. Russia has repeatedly tested NATO's patience with fighter jets, drones, and missiles flying too close to borders. But now, with the approval of an American president, the consequence could mean real gunfire in the skies. Since Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in February 2022, the skies have been as important a front as the ground. Russian Su-35 strike fighters dropped precision-guided bombs. Su-35 multi-role jets hunted for Ukrainian defenses, while Su-57 stealth fighters appeared in limited numbers for testing advanced systems. Drones such as the Lancet, the Orlan 10, and Iranian-made Shaheeds rained destruction on ammunition depots, energy plants, and civilian infrastructure. Long-range caliber cruise missiles were launched from Russian warships in the Black Sea, and Kinjal hypersonic missiles were deployed from MiG-31Ks. The air dimension of the war has always threatened to spill over into NATO territory. NATO, though avoiding direct troop deployment, has guarded Eastern Europe's airspace with advanced aircraft. American F-35 stealth fighters patrol alongside Eurofighter Typhoons from Britain, Rafales from France, and F-16s from Poland, Romania, and the Netherlands. AWACS early warning aircraft orbit constantly, their powerful radars sweeping hundreds of kilometers to detect intrusions. Surface-to-air systems such as Patriot PAC-3 batteries in Poland and Germany, and SAB-T launchers in Italy and Romania provide a shield against ballistic and cruise missiles. Naval Aegis systems stationed in the Mediterranean and Baltic Seas add another layer of defense. Yet, airspace intrusions have become common. In March 2023, a US M9 Reaper drone crashed into the Black Sea after colliding with a Russian Su-27. In 2024, a Russian fighter briefly penetrated Estonia's airspace, triggering an emergency scramble. Romanian officials reported fragments of Russian drones falling on their soil multiple times. Over the Arctic and the Baltic, Tu-95 Bear bombers frequently approach NATO airspace, shadowed by Western fighters in tense standoffs. Until now, all these incidents ended with radio warnings, interceptions, and escorts away. Shots were never fired. Trump's statement threatens to rewrite that script entirely. Technically, the implications are immense. The Russian MiG-31, one of the fastest interceptors ever built, can fly at Mach 2.8 and is armed with R-37M missiles capable of striking targets 300 kilometers away. The Su-35, with his thrust vectoring engines and Erebus E radar, is designed to challenge NATO's best fighters, even stealth aircraft at medium ranges. The Su-57 Felon, Russia's stealth jet, though limited in numbers, carries advanced avionics and long-range weapons, making it a symbolic and technological threat. Russia's air defense is equally formidable. S-400 missile systems can engage aircraft at 400 kilometers, while the newer S-500 is built to counter even hypersonic weapons. On NATO's side, the F-35 Lightning II brings stealth, sensor fusion, and electronic warfare capabilities. The Eurofighter Typhoon combines agility with advanced Meteor air-to-air missiles, which can chase targets over 100 kilometers away. Patriot PAC-3 interceptors specialized in ballistic missile defense. while Aster-30 missiles from SAMP-T systems provide theater-level protection. AWACS platforms like the E-3 Sentry and NATO's newer Global Eye surveillance aircraft give the alliance unparalleled situational awareness. In practice, if a Russian aircraft crossed into Polish or Baltic skies, NATO fighters would scramble, issue radio warnings, and attempt visual interception. If the intruder refused to turn back, rules of engagement could now authorize lethal force. Trump's approval makes that final step, once unthinkable, a realistic scenario. The risks are staggering. If NATO shoots down a Russian jet, Moscow may retaliate by targeting a NATO aircraft over the Black Sea or the Baltic Sea. Russian bombers could launch cruise missiles at NATO bases in Poland or Germany. Cyber attacks could strike Western command systems, power grids, or financial institutions. Moscow could escalate further by moving tactical nuclear weapons closer to the front. As the war zone has noted, air confrontations escalate quickly because of speed, proximity, and national pride. A single mistake could unleash an uncontrollable chain reaction. Analysts suggest Kopp may have intended his words as deterrence, a blunt message to Moscow that air violations will no longer be tolerated. By raising the stakes, the US president may hope to reduce the frequency of intrusions and bolster NATO's credibility. But deterrence always carries the danger of miscalculation. A drone might be misinterpreted as a manned aircraft. A pilot might ignore warnings due to faulty communication. What begins as a tactical incident could spiral into a strategic confrontation. The global consequences are severe. For the United States, authorizing shootdowns marks a departure from years of restraint. Since 2022, Washington supplied Ukraine with weapons, intelligence, and funding, but avoided direct combat. Trump's statement blurs that line, risking U.S. forces becoming active participants in the conflict. For NATO, unity will be tested. Some nations, like Poland and the Baltics, favor toughness, while others, like Germany and Hungary, prefer caution. Coordinating a unified rule of engagement will be essential to prevent unilateral actions. For Russia, Trump's words provide propaganda fuel. State media can claim NATO is preparing aggression, justifying further militarization. Moscow might reinforce its borders with more S-400 batteries, deploy additional aircraft to Kaliningrad, or conduct larger bomber patrols near NATO airspace. Each move raises tension and reduces the margin for diplomacy. Beyond Europe, the world is watching. China will study the situation closely, evaluating how far Washington is willing to defend Allied airspace. India, a major defense partner of both Russia and the West, will tread carefully, balancing its relationships. Turkey, a NATO member with complex ties to Moscow, may play a pivotal role in mediating or escalating tensions. Non-aligned countries fear that international norms of air sovereignty, once sacrosanct, are being rewritten by force. Economically, the ripple effects could be immense. Oil prices would spike immediately if Russian and NATO aircraft clashed. European gas supplies already reduced would face further threats from sabotage or blockade. Defense markets would boom. More orders for fighters, drones, and missile systems. Investors would flee to safe havens, rattling global stock markets. Civil aviation could also suffer as airlines redirect flights away from contested skies, adding billions of costs. The question now is stark. Is Trump prepared for the consequences? If a Russian jet is shot down tomorrow, Moscow's reaction could be a missile strike, a cyber onslaught, or even a tactical nuclear mobilization. NATO would be forced to respond, risking escalation into a regional or even global war. Diplomacy would scramble to catch up with events already spinning out of control. We stand at the edge of history. Trump has opened the door to direct aerial confrontation between the world's two most powerful military blocs. Is this a bold step to uphold international law and protect Allied skies, or the first spark of a war that no one can control? The world watches,
holding its breath. Now it's your turn. Do you support this shoot-down policy? Share your thoughts in the comments, add your voice to the debate, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss the next deep analysis.
Thank you for watching.